If there's one thing I like about fan videos, it's the customs. And in this series, you will find out just how I've made some of the customs that I have used in my own videos. Welcome to Yoshi's Customs. My uses for customs have varied over the years. Some have been for major characters while others have been for minor ones. My technique of making them has also varied, from ones being made from paper, from plushies, until recently, painted characters. Some of the characters have even been modified over the years, meaning that they have changed from the last time they were seen. This is true for many of the characters you've once seen. This series will go over most of the big name characters that I use, but I'll also go over some minor ones which I use every now and again. This series is of every kind, so nothing will be left out. This time we're taking a look at something very different than what we've done before. A close-up model of James's cab. As always, we'll start with a history lesson. If you've been on this channel long enough, you know that I use many different types of things for my videos. Whether they're toy trains, toy cars, model trains, figures, etc. I use them. Sometimes I even combine these into videos. But this does create a slight problem. Comparing a die-cast to a Trackmaster to a minifigure, the minifigure is the biggest one out of all of them. And that's not usually realistic. But okay, that's just a crap toy train that no one loves. How about a model train? Nope. Still the same problem. I'm pretty sure we've all had that moment where we've done something which at the time we were happy with, but in nowadays it kind of pisses you off. Yeah, these outscale moments are those for me personally. So how do I fix this problem? Well, the cheap way out is to green screen. Literally just grab the item, slap it on a green screen, and then put it next to the item and call it a day. And that is a good option, but it's also pretty cheap. And I don't really want to go down that route very often because it will waste storage on my iPad. So I don't want to go down that route for storage reasons. Another option is to buy large-scale models like G-Scale, which doesn't sound like a bad idea, if I actually had the money to buy them. So at this point, I was stuck at a Y path. Either accept defeat and continue with this thing that pisses me off, or I go the cheap way and possibly waste storage. But during research in doing this, I had a breakthrough. Close-up models. These were used in the show to communicate a larger scale with the people figurines. And the best part is, they weren't fully made, or at least most of them weren't fully made. So, you can disassemble them and just use specific parts. And that got me thinking, what if I made a close-up model to solve my problem with the figures? Upon this realization, I quickly raced out to my local arts and craft shops and bought some new materials. And soon I was ready to make this custom. So what did I use to make this custom? Well, I used paint pens, popsicle sticks, sellotape and scissors, felt tips for lining, paper for the actual base itself, and a physical reference thing to use. I used the Hornby James as my reference. Now, I know this isn't accurate as the Hornby models weren't accurate to the TV series or the Railway series. They're kind of in their own bubble, but hey, if you don't like it, the corner's waiting there for you. I started by doing the cab area, and I cut it out in the style to fit both my Yoshi figures that I use for Hornby Adventures and the Equestrian Girl figures for random ship posts. And I thought I got the measurements down right, but after finishing the model, I realized I fucked up. Yoshi looked a bit too small in the cab, and the figures were too big to the point they were touching the ceiling. I had one job, and I couldn't even do that right. After this, I decided to paint it in. I painted the inside black, so it could be used for any engine. I do plan on making more close-up models, but for now I'm just making James, so I'm going to see if I can make this compatible with other engines as well. After this, I decided to flip to the other side, paint it red, and I decided to use popsicle sticks to help align with the cab boiler. And thank God I did, because popsicle sticks are a lifesaver. Without these things, I think I would have given up on this model a long time ago. Next step was the lining, and of course I fucked this up as well. But it wasn't as bad as my previous fuck up, so hey ho, at least I have that going for me. Yay me. I also decided to colour in the popsicle sticks with the same colour as their base, as I think it would be a lot easier to spot them if they were not painted in. If they're painted in, it helps hide them a bit better. Also, while making this custom, I decided to line out where which pieces will go. And again, thank God I did, because it made making this custom a hell of a lot easier than if I just winged it. At this point, the model was coming along well, and it was slowly fulfilling the dream of forever fixing that bugbear. I continued making this custom, adding the running board and the roof, but then came the tricky part. The inside of the cab. With a close-up model of this scale, you'd normally have the pipes and shit that you don't see with the smaller models. So, how do I do around this? Well, there's one very easy solution to this. Just get your printer and print this out. It will be a piece of piss, right? Right? Yeah, fuck no. My printer doesn't work with my Chromebook, so I can't even print it out. And it just wouldn't work full stop. So, fucking yay! Okay, so with that option out the window, guess I'm just gonna have to do it myself. So, using cotton buds, paint, and some reference material, I decided to get to work. And I think it got along pretty well. Obviously, there were some hard parts, like the steam pipes and the water pumps, but I think I got them down pretty well. Last step was to add the firebox and floor, and with that, I think the close-up cab was complete. So overall, even with the cab's mix-ups, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I can finally put that bugbear of things being out of scale to rest. At least until I have to find a way to shrink down the figures to a reasonable size next to the models, but I'm not getting into that rabbit hole right now, fuck that. I'm just doing close-up models for now. And thus concludes another episode of Yoshi's Customs. Next time, I'm going to do something which I probably should have done to start with, and that is custom plushies. Until then, have a good one.